Or should be. Let me grab my iPad. I was surprised. I thought I'm not sure what was going with the Chargers. I guess they had a discussion offline. All right, let's see if we live. You see it yet, Shelton?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't find it. Ah, yeah, there we go. Cool. All right. Y'all ready? This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead in sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inge. Joining me on the show, we have Shelton J.
What's happening, man? How y'all doing?
Chilling, bro. Nikki Duce.
What's going on? It's good.
And what they call him? Kyrie FIFO? FIFO Irvin.
FIFO Irvin. Nick's mic ain't on, I don't think.
He's doing what?
Nick's mic's not on.
Okay. Hold on. That's right. That is right. Real quick fix.
That mute Nick campaign.
Say something, Nick. You got it. Nick, say something.
Mr. T, you right. My beard do grow fast.
Shelton, say something.
Mic check.
All right, you two. Now say something.
What's up?
All right. You know what else I was going to check? Make sure Zoom recorded. Nigga do say, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
All right,
Yeah, so all right, man. Let's get into it.
we gonna get into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Damn. I can do it off the top of my head. But obviously, this is NFL talk. That's why you see me in the greatest team of all time gear right now. Our weekly picks. I tallied them up, man, and yeah, we was. It did not go in our favor for most of us. But Shelton, you got I think you were 3-1
Yes,
out of the four
sir.
games. You only missed on the
Baltimore.
yeah, the Baltimore game because we all chose Lamar. That's probably what happened. We cursed this nigga.
That was an emotional pick.
I know I did. I felt like I was apologizing all weekend to everybody.
Can me and you went 2-2 because of the New Orleans game and the Buffalo game. So yeah, moving forward, we can still bounce back. We still got a few. We got this upcoming week AFC title game, NFC title game, and then we got the Super Bowl picks as well,
Yeah.
which we can do.
I tried to tell you not to bet against Tommy Brady, especially when you betting on Drew Brees. I wouldn't do it.
I don't even know what to say to that because
I don't either.
you just saying shit right now. It's 2020 hindsight because they busted their ass twice before this game.
But
So
that's
you
the
wasn't
reason, man.
100% confident they was gonna win that game. You was just
They
going
say
off
my
of
volume low.
Some-
They say my volume low.
For a good reason.
yeah. We don't need to hear you, man. But yeah,
No,
we'll
I didn't think Drew Brees could beat him 3 times in a row. That just wasn't gonna happen.
It's not unusual. It typically goes that way. It's typically the teams that beat two teams 2 times in a season typically get a third. It's not uncommon.
Not when you're dealing with Tom Brady, one of
Oh,
the
Jesus Christ.
possibly greatest of all time.
all right, we gonna get to Tom Brady. We're gonna get to Tom Brady. Before we get into the playoffs and all the recaps and everything, there is some NFL news. Shit, first and foremost, no black head coaches got hired over the last few weeks. All these damn jobs open. Y'all couldn't hire one brother. God damn it, shit. We got a GM in
Hey
Detroit,
man,
but shit.
hey man, you know we make light of it, but that's really a serious problem. It's really bad. That just doesn't make sense. And the thing about it is, it's not that none of them got hired. It's none of them were even mentioned. You don't even hear talk of the next up and coming young black assistant coach that's destined for greatness. You don't hear anything about that. And that's scary, man. I just don't understand it. I don't really care about them interviewing a certain amount of blacks for head coaching jobs. Make sure that they bring in a certain amount of black assistant coaches that kind of match the demographics. That would be more effective, in my opinion. If you have enough assistants in the pipeline, eventually they're gonna start getting some of those jobs.
Yeah,
But I just don't see it.
I don't know. I think it was just weird because you see all these random ass names get like the head coach of the Falcons. The Jets head coach kind of makes sense because he came from San Fran and shit. But they called Urban Meyer off the broadcast to go to fucking Jacksonville. Like, come on, Eric Bieniemy's right there. He could have done something with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain like coaches right now that I'm just looking at like, bro, why are these? There's only two black head coaches now moving forward. We had 3 last season, and now we only got 2.
And I, like I said, I just can't understand it. I don't understand how they're not getting opportunities. And my question is, how is Eric Bieniemy doing in these? I would love to hear an Eric Bieniemy interview. I want to know what's being said in these interviews. What's causing him not to get looked? Like I don't get it.
That's what Maga Manny was saying. He was saying in the chat. He said that nigga may not interview well because that motherfucker don't get no jobs, boy.
None, man. No love. He gets no love. And it's like they don't even want to talk to him. Like, does he got some kind of bad stigma? Are they saying it's all? I don't get it. Maybe they're saying it's all Andy Reid.
I think it's cause, yeah, exactly. I think Andy Reid being there is too much. It's just like it's like Scottie Pippen trying to get some love during that Chicago run. It's like, yeah, well, we acknowledge you, but everybody give a fuck about Mike. You know what I mean? Like Mike is there. Like
Right.
if it ain't for Mike, you may not even be there. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I think I think he would have to go to a situation that's unfavorable, like the Eagles or what's another? I think there's or Houston or no, Houston already got their coach. They got random ass coach too. But the Eagles, I think you have to go somewhere like it's a bottom dwelling team that he would have to resurrect out of the ashes because right now that's what the Eagles are. I mean, at this point, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. But
Yeah.
you wouldn't think with a guy who has that type of coaching skill set as far as to coach up Patty Mahomes to have to go prove himself with the Eagles.
Yeah, like I said, it just doesn't make sense to me. And with the percentage of players in the league being black, there's no way you can't tell me that some of these guys aren't good enough to coach the game. If you're good enough to play, you're good enough to coach. And I know they got enough bright, young, talented black men that could be in these positions. I'm not saying shun all white people. I ain't what I'm talking about, but I'm just saying it still should be a fair representation by this point. We talked about 2021 and how I still say the quarterback job is unbalanced. It's not right. And they're not all held to the same standards. There's no way that when we talk about quarterbacks, there's no way a black quarterback would get as many looks as a Carson Wentz. Because when people talk about Carson Wentz, for the most part, people talk about him like a glass half full Like this guy should be great, but it's this reason, it's that reason why he's not. This reason is that reason. If he was black, he'd be trash. You know what I'm saying? I just feel that way. I feel the same way about Baker. Baker got time after time after time to prove himself, and hadn't done how many playoff games has Carson Wentz won in his career? Do y'all know?
I know the number.
None. But don't nobody say that. But we talk about Lamar and how he ain't won none, but he finally got the monkey off his back, but he's still trash. It's just not fair in the grand scheme of things the way these people are compared. And I'm talking about the quarterbacks, I'm talking about the coaches, the whole nine.
Yeah, I was shocked, especially after all of the noise that was made, all of the conversation that took place, blah, 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 blah. And this is why I'm becoming less of a fan of, the phrase when people say, let's have a conversation. Let's just talk about it. Let's have this open dialogue. Talking ain't solving shit. We've been talking for 5 years now? We've been doing this show a very long time, man, almost damn near a decade. And we've been talking about this since we damn near got on the show. The mainstream media have been talking about it for the last 2 or 3 years. And nothing has changed. So, and they have rules in place. So this is where policies and procedures can fail as well, too. Because there's always loopholes. This is how America is built. And these are how companies, work on protecting themselves from any potential liability. This is a very, very huge issue that won't be solved by looking at white owners or a majority white front office. I mean, it's going to start with them changing the color of the front office, changing the color of the owners, which will take forever, and then you may see some trickle down effect. But right now, there's no hope in sight for me.
Yeah, it's one of those bad scenarios where you got to say it is what it is and just move on because clearly nothing's gonna really change anytime soon. But to not end on that type of sour note, let's get into these playoffs. Recapping last week, man. Those some of those games were really interesting, and some of those games were just like baffling as well. Let's start with probably the game that everybody has been talking about more so all weekend is that Baltimore and Buffalo game. Man, did Lamar let Nas down?
He did, man. He did. He had a moment. You go down 10, you're driving down, you're right there in the red zone, and you just read the field wrong. And I get it. He didn't go through his progressions. Dude kind of hit on him, and he threw an interception. Not only that, it was a pick six, and that's on you. So you went from potentially tying the game to losing the game just that quick. And even if they got 3, that's fine. You responded. You answered the call. You're showing up in a big moment in the playoffs like you did last week. And that's what people want to see from you, especially after your first game where you struggled mightily. And then the second game didn't go in your favor as well. And then you get there and you did all that work and you just throw it away, man. So he did. And Lamar got to get in the lab, bro. And I guess we can have a later conversation about him, but sticking strictly to the game, it was a tight game. Wham Newton he wasn't playing all that well either. He was missing people left and right. But this came down to 2 quarterbacks, one making a play, one didn't. And it was on Lamar. So I don't think that it's not going to change the narrative about him because people like to talk negatively about him. I talk negatively about him based on some things that I've seen that I don't like. But that's what we do here. That's our job. And there's no really hidden agenda because everybody know I'm pro brother. I want everybody to see. But part of that success comes with the criticism that I have of him because I see where this is going. And for him to get down there, to throw that interception, I had nothing else to say, man. Like, he got to get better, bro. He just got to get better. Like, enough's enough. We can't keep making excuses for him constantly. And we can get into the organization. We can get into a lot of things that Buffalo did for Josh Allen that the Ravens haven't done for Lamar. That's valid. The same thing that happened with Cam. But talking strictly about the game for him to throw that pick six, that was devastating. He got to take care of the ball in that situation. It's too big a moment. It's win or go home.
What about you, Shelton?
Man, to be honest, for me, it wasn't even the pick six that bothered me. It was a response to the pick six.
Oh man, Shelton, here we go.
Yeah, what I'm saying about that is his response. Like, you gonna make mistakes. Things are gonna happen, and it was a bad pick. It was an awful pick in an awful time. But once again, it's how you respond to those moments that make you what you are. You still wasn't out of that game. You still had an opportunity to win that game. I mean, you were down, what was it, 17-3 at that point? You get your guys together and say, we drove down the field one time, let's do it again. You still had a whole quarter and a half left to play. So all he had to do was rally the troops, have a conversation with your guys, pump them up, it's my fault. The next series, I'm going to pick it up. That's what a good quarterback does. That's what an MVP does. And the fact that he just doesn't, if things are going good, he's your guy. He's pumped up, he's excited. But when things are going bad, I remember I used to see that with Cam a lot, Cam Newton. He would do the same thing in Charlotte. When things were rolling, he was that guy. He was pumping everybody up, including himself. But when things were bad, he would hang his head and he just wouldn't be the same player. And it's kind of like you got to be consistent. That's what being a great quarterback is all about. And that's what he's going to have to develop, and no more excuses going forward. Like you said, kid, you got to step it up and just show that he can do the job. Because no, you can't pick who you play with at this stage. He ain't got the option. So no, he's not going to go out there and grab a number one receiver off the street. It's just not going to happen. You play with the hand you're dealt, and you do the best job you can with that and make it happen by any means necessary. And that's what he should have done.
Well, Lamar couldn't do any of that because his ass was in the his ass was on the sideline. I get what you're saying, but Lamar couldn't do shit. He was gone.
Nah, man, that game was just it was a battle for real, and it was one of those games where, like, if he would have won that or shown that it wasn't like on his side of the football that they lost, that would have, not to say that would have proven a lot because he's already done so much as a QB so early in his career, but it would just been like, okay, now we don't have to ever talk about this shit again. But here we are once again talking about it. And Ken, I do agree to your point. Like 80% of that loss was on Lamar. You got to make that read. To me, there's not enough field because you're in the red zone for you to throw that ball to that man anyway in the first place. Like, either throw it away or run.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's just like and maybe that's because of the offense, the weapons and stuff like that. Again, that's the 20% that you can credit to the organization or coaching staff. But that was on Lamar. And it's disappointing because now we got to look at this. Right, boy Rick? That's what you call him. We got to look at Josh Allen, punk ass. He's on his way down to the AFC title game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? Like, and to me, Baltimore's defense held strong.
Mm-hmm.
That whole the offense only scored 7 points or 10 points. The offense the whole game. That pick six is what changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
And also the fact that Justin Tucker been doing more opera than kicking field goals. That motherfucker was. I'm like, what? Justin Tucker, you're supposed to be the best kicker in the league.
Right.
You missed two of them in a playoff game because that would have been 9 points on that drive that Lamar takes. So he wouldn't even been pressed because either way they could have took the lead with a field goal or a touchdown. But now that you missed that, now the more pressure's on Lamar, and it just made that situation just even more dicey. So, I mean, I think that my main thing is that the OC needs to be fired for Baltimore. They need to get another OC who's more offensively minded or who's willing to take a chance to be creative with Lamar. And then moving forward, they need to get either Allen Robinson from the Bears, who will be a free agent, or Kenny Galloway, or whatever his name.
Kenny, not Allen. Allen done.
Allen may be done, but he better than what they got now. He better than Dez.
Yeah, but we'll be having this same conversation a year or two after he get there.
Allen Robinson done? What?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. He better than what they got. So
He is.
Where's North Turner now?
shit.
Y'all know?
He probably in San Diego
Retirement.
kicking it. Yeah, he ain't coming back.
That's who. That's the OC. That's who should be his OC. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw Cam Newton when he came back for those first 7 games before he hurt his arm again. But he made Cam
New
Newton.
England or
No, he talking about in.
No,
I
when
remember
he was
that.
at
I
Carolina.
remember that. But I'm cool on North Turner because he's proven that he can only get you somewhere, but he ain't gonna get you all the way there.
he'll be okay as an OC though. But
Yeah,
I'm with you. Let's
but
get
I'm
somebody
talking about
new.
the development of Lamar. Like Lamar
Yeah,
could
get
be a
somebody
lot.
new,
I
man.
think the ceiling on Lamar isn't as high as people have it. Like, no,
It's not.
I think he can be a really good overall quarterback if he's given the right opportunity with weapons and an OC who can believe in him. I don't think North Turner has that juice or energy in him right now. He's been through so many regimes. Like,
but that's the thing. When he came to Carolina, I saw new Cam Newton. I saw something that I hadn't seen his whole career. Because he had shortcomings with passes and overthrowing a lot of passes. He wasn't accurate. When North Turner got there, his completion percentage went through the roof. He became a better quarterback, and the team was winning games. So until his arm went out, that's when he was having all the arm issues. But when that was going on, they were losing, but he was hiding that. He just did a good job with him. And I like what I saw out of Cam with North Turner. I wouldn't mind bringing him, doing a similar thing for Lamar, because he like I said, he did his thing when he was in Carolina with Cam. He helped with short passing and with better routes. He helped him to become a more accurate passer. Cam didn't have knockout wide receivers in Carolina at that time. Ted Ginn and those guys. I think Ted Ginn was still there, but either way, he didn't have the best receivers. They just made it happen. And I like what North Turner did with Cam Newton.
what about you, Manny?
I feel like we overreacting to this whole situation with Lamar, man. I mean, I just think that we're just ready to just throw this guy to the wolves already after what, 3 seasons? I think it's his 3rd season, right? 4th season. This is his 4th, or this is the culmination of his 4th season, right? I believe so. Or is this his 3rd season? I forget. But anyway, this is still a very, very young quarterback. I mean, he's still on his rookie deal. Like, this is a dude that essentially is still like wet behind the ears. Like, and we're ready to just basically discard him or like start firing OCs because he had a bad playoff game. And honestly, I don't even think his game was that bad overall. I mean, the pick 6 was yeah, you can't even defend that, obviously. But I think we're just overreacting to it, man. I mean, look, Lamar is still a very good quarterback. I think when he's healthy and when he's right, I think he's one of the top 10 best quarterbacks in the league. He's dynamic in everything that he does. I just think that the problem with that team is that team is so reliant on him playing great every single game. Like, they're so dependent on him and his own kind of personal dynamism to just be great all the time, that I think that's kind of puts a lot of pressure on him to actually, like, he has to play great every single game that he plays. Like, there can't be like, he can't have a bad game. Like, he can't have a Drew Brees game. He can't have even a Josh Allen type performance where, Josh Allen can sometimes, have those games where he's just throwing the ball all over the place, negatively. I say that. Baltimore can't get away with that. And I think that's more of an issue on the offense. Like, right now, list me who their best. List me a wide receiver or a tight end outside of Mark Andrews on that team that you would take on your team right now.
I'm not even giving you Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews is a solid wide receiver. Mark Andrews is a very good tight end. Like,
he is a good tight end. He is not very good because I've seen him drop a lot of balls.
Yep.
No, he's solid. He's solid.
Maybe
you can win with. You could do a lot worse with Mark Andrews. But other than that, like Willie Snead, even Hollywood Brown. Like, Hollywood Brown is like a Kmart version of John Brown. Like, he's just a deep threat.
You disrespected John Brown.
You disrespect the fuck out of John Brown.
You did. God damn.
Nah, man. I mean, it's just like, no, but for real, like, honestly, like, outside of maybe Mark Andrews, like, their running game, like, Dobbins is okay. He's nice. He's a good running back. I think he's added to that team. But, I don't think any of you guys would say, oh, yeah, I'm building my franchise around J.K. Dobbins. Same thing for Gus Edwards. And we all know Mark Ingram isn't that guy. Tight end, obviously, we already discussed Mark Andrews. And then wide receiver, Willie Snead, Des Brown, forget about it. Des Bryant, forget about it. Like, they just don't have a lot of great offensive weapons outside of Lamar. Like, he is their offense. Literally is their offense. Like, if you take Lamar Jackson off that team and, for instance, put Joe Flacco, what is that team? What is that team? I asked anyone.
It's trash.
They literally have, like, look at what the Bills have done for Josh Allen. And I know you brought this up, Ken, earlier, but it's true. I mean, they got Stephon Diggs, they got John Brown, they got the kid Gabriel, whatever his name is. It was a nice, solid receiver who's coming into his own. Like, they have a good, solid running game. I think their running game is pretty much the same as the Ravens as far as like notoriety and depth or whatever. But they just have a better overall infrastructure around Josh Allen than the Ravens do. So I just think that to me to just kill, so to sit here and make this like an indictment on Lamar Jackson, and he's got to get better. And I agree, he's got to get better. I think the whole throwing, his pocket passing and all that stuff, I think it's a little overblown. Like, I think he's a better pocket passer than I ever thought Cam was. Like, I think he's a better thrower of the football than Cam was.
I agree with that.
Controversial to say on here, but I think he's a better thrower of the football than Cam Newton was.
I think he will be, yeah.
So we don't need to fire the OC.
No, I think they need to add more talent to that team. They need to add more talent on the skill positions.
No, see, here's the thing, though, Manny. Here's where I disagree with you. You play with the hand you're dealt. So if the offensive coordinator can't get it done with the players that he has, I understand what you're saying about building around him. You should do that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But at the same time, the offensive coordinator can't make it work. You get somebody in who will make it work with what you have to work with. Because it's evident that this team can play better. And that's why it's not an indictment against him saying that he should be thrown to the wolves. But yes, he should be held more accountable. He's proven he can do it. If he hadn't proved it before by winning MVP, then he wouldn't have an argument. But the fact that he's won MVP, that throws that rookie talk out the window. He's already proved he can win. He's already proved he can play. Now we just need him to see more evolution from him. Yeah, he deserves more weapons. But at the same time, ain't nobody going to give him just a pass. Nobody's throwing him to the wolves.
Nobody's giving him a pass.
You are. You spent like 10 minutes talking about all the things
you just did.
that he needed to do. What the hell?
I'm not saying give him a pass. But I feel like people are just ready to like.
No,
I mean, and not even on this show, not even us necessarily, but I'm just saying in general, the overall narrative. Like,
well, we know
just on Twitter and social media, like people are just ready to like run this dude out of town. Like, yo, calm down. Mm-hmm. I came on this show last week or a couple weeks ago, and I killed Russell Wilson for that playoff performance. And people was like basically coming at me with pitchforks. Like, how dare you say that about Russell Wilson? Look at who Russell Wilson plays with compared to Lamar Jackson.
I would say this, like, I agree with you. The media is always gonna kill Lamar. When any fault he has, they will they'll be super on top of it for no reason most of the time, or exaggerate it. But for this one, it's like you said, Manny, it's his third year in the league, and we see the same shit for 3 years straight. He gets bounced out of the playoffs because one, lack of weapons, or two,
okay, it's Russell Wilson's 10th year in the league, and he's still making the same mistakes.
No. I'm saying,
so are we going to be hard on Russell?
We're not talking about Russell right now. We're talking about Lamar. That's the thing.
No, but look at what you just said there. It's his third year in the league, and he's still not doing the thing. Like, no, it's his third year in the league.
No, I'm saying
third year in the league.
It's his third year in the league. He's won an MVP already, and for the most part, I think he's the youngest QB to get to 30 wins or whatever. Like, I know he's broken some records. So to Shelton's point, some of that other shit as far as waiting we ain't got time for that. Like you said, Manny.
But I never said wait to develop.
He's still on his rookie deal, which means what? He's in that he's in that nucleus that every team wants to be in, where you ain't got to pay your quarterback that much money, and you can surround your team with talent, and you can win games. That's what he's been in for the last 2 years, at least. So if you're trying to maximize that window, which they have, because it's really only Patty that you got to beat. It's only till this year that we're looking at Baker and the Browns and Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills. Before that, it was just Patty. So I'm going to still keep that energy as far as saying you only got to beat one team in the AFC, and then you win a Super Bowl. That's it. So if that's the window that we're talking about, because that's the window that they didn't think they were going to be in this quickly, but they're in now, you got to change some things up if you want to compete. Look at what Green Bay did with Aaron Rodgers. after a while, you start seeing the same shit. You start losing in the same rounds or whatever. You got to change shit up and look at where they at now. So I think a new OC, maybe even a new head coach, will get Lamar and where he needs to be. I'll keep the head coach if you get a new OC that's actually really interesting. But if you're gonna do the same old, you might as well get rid of that whole staff. Because the OC has been top 10 in rushing the last 2 stops he's been at, but been bottom 25 in passing offense. So it's clearly there's something wrong.
Right. I feel like it's more of a lack of true offensive weapons than I think it even is Greg Roman or anything else. And I'm not saying Greg Roman is an offensive genius by any means. I'm not saying that, but I feel like the success that Lamar has had with this team is a credit to Lamar, not a mistake.
I think that it is, like I said, I give him a lot of credit, but it's the Giannis comparison for me. Like, we talk about Giannis taking the next step in development all the time. We talk about that and how he's lacking that next step. It's like we need to see him take a step. Same thing with Lamar at this point. It's like, okay, next year I need you to do something, and it's not just winning the playoff game. Let's see you evolve by throwing the ball 20 yards down the field. Let's see you evolve by doing something a little different than you've done now. You got to build on your game. Yeah, he does need a number one, but let's be honest. There's no team with it all. Ain't really no team out there that got everything. You got to make it work with what you have. I keep saying that. If it was a perfect formula, every team would have every position filled with a star. And it ain't happening. It's just not going to happen. Everybody's going to be short somewhere. You pick and choose where you want to make your changes and what you want to do. And you're not going to find just the number one receiver laying on the ground somewhere. It'd be nice to go get a Julio Jones from Atlanta through trade or a player like that for him. That way, there wouldn't be any excuses. I would love for that to happen for his sake. But it just hasn't happened right now. So you figure out a way, and that's why you changed offensive coordinator Manny, is because you got to figure out a way to make it work with what he has. You got to figure it out. And he's been winning games, so it's evident he can win. It's just we need him to win in the playoffs.
So
and that's fair. I mean, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm just saying this hyperbolic feeling like, oh yeah, we just got to run Lamar out of town, or he's done, or like, oh my god, like, yo, chill out. Like, the dude is throwing the Willie Snead. Like, and I know that you're not gonna be in a situation where you're gonna have all pros at every level of wide receiver. Obviously, I get that, but just give him Cooper Kupp. Give him Robert Woods at least. You know what I'm saying? Good receivers. Nobody's going to sit there and call those guys all pro level receivers, right? But I mean, good, solid wide receivers. And I think that the narrative is a little different. At least I think so.
You think Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods would be productive in Greg Roman's offense?
I think they'd be better than Willie Snead.
So that's
that's an answer without answering it.
He gave me a Shelton right there.
Yeah, exactly. See,
do you agree or disagree? Would they not be better? Would they not be better wide receivers than the current crop of wide receivers they currently have?
You would not see an improvement on this team, so I say no.
Come on, Ken, stop.
Robert Woods is only this good because of Sean McVay's scheme.
Yes.
Robert Woods wasn't shit before Sean McVay got there.
He was average at best.
Okay.
When was you ever talking about Robert Woods until Sean McVay?
Okay, we brought up Allen Robinson. You put Allen Robinson on this offense? Come on. First of all, the fact that you said Allen Robinson's done.
Yeah, I don't agree with Ken on that.
He's got Mitchell Trubisky throwing to him.
And then you're gonna give him a Lamar. You think Lamar Jackson? Never mind.
Nah, don't go down that hill, Ken. You almost gonna get kicked off your own show saying that shit.
This is my point right here, Ken. Come on. Are you seriously gonna tell me that Lamar Jackson as a quarterback, as a pocket quarterback, is comparable to Mitchell Trubisky? Like, come on now.
Based on what I've seen,
come on.
I know you don't believe that.
All right, we moving on. We ain't even gonna get to this argument. Let's talk about the winners of the game. Shit, the winners of the game are the Buffalo Bills. I wonder what happens when they win a game. Does everybody get free wings or some shit?
Oh no, Lamar charity got money or something like that. They were giving money all around the place.
They paid them in wings. That's some nigga shit. Let's fuck Buffalo. Nah.
Give him these because he playing with it. What in the world?
Sheldon, who the hell are you talking to? Put yourself on mute, man. Let's talk about the Buffalo.
We don't want to hear any stuff going on over there.
Yeah, oh shit. I didn't know what you was doing.
I
But
was talking about my son. I'm
my,
sorry.
my question to y'all is: are the Buffalo Bills the scariest team left in the playoffs?
No,
Mm-mm.
no.
Not at
Honestly,
all.
I haven't been impressed with Buffalo. Like honestly, they should have lost to the Colts. And let's be fair, like before the pick six, like I honestly wasn't that impressed with them against the Ravens. So I feel like the Ravens played badly, and that's why they lost. Like honestly, if the Ravens play a better game and and Justin Tucker hits his field goals, which is what he's paid to do, I still feel like the Ravens have a chance to win that game. So I just haven't really been that impressed with Buffalo. Like I've been impressed with the connection that Allen and Diggs. Like to me, that connection has worked far better than I ever thought it would, which is a credit to them. But honestly, like as a team, I just really haven't been that impressed with Buffalo. Like I just have not. And maybe it's just me watching them with Jet fan eyes, but I just really have not been impressed with them. I mean, like tell me something that I should be impressed. Like their defense is okay, it's good, but it's not great. It's not all world. And their offense, like outside of Allen and Diggs, like their running game is compromised, obviously because of Moss being injured. And yeah, I just haven't been that impressed.
They haven't been that great in the
And
playoffs.
I was going to say as well. I'm confident enough to say even that if
Mm-mm.
Patty if Patty doesn't
Mm-mm.
even play, I still think that Chad Henne can beat
Oh,
Buffalo.
he did it.
I'm that confident.
I'm not gonna go that far, but
I'll go that far.
I'm not gonna go that
I'll
far.
go that far.
Shelton, you off the Henny if you thinking that.
I ain't gonna go that
Where
far.
your
I'll go
thermos?
that
Where your
far.
thermos at? I already know you've been drinking. I seen the you went off screen
I'll
for a
go
few
that far.
times.
I know
That-
anything is possible. I know anything is possible and all that, but I don't know about that one.
I'll go that far. That defense by the Chiefs, they played a really good game.
They did
And
not.
all he has to do is get the ball. You forgetting that this Chiefs team still has all the weapons in place. All he has to do is get the ball where it needs to go.
That
You ain't got to
defense,
get the ball.
that
You got to
Chiefs-
throw the
That's
ball.
the
deep.
problem.
Bruh, the Chiefs
can't get it to
defense
where it needs to
is the worst part of the team.
The Chiefs defense.
You can
played
run
a
the
decent
ball.
game.
All the teams coming out of the playoffs can do one thing really well, and that's run the ball. The Chiefs
Right.
are
Except
one
for
of
Buffalo.
the Chiefs got the worst
Except
defense.
for Buffalo.
Huh?
Except for Buffalo. Singletary ain't doing nothing.
I think the Chiefs defense is better than I think people give the credit for. Is it the 85 Bears? No, but the Chiefs defense is better. It's the worst part of their team as far as if you're judging it compared to what they have on offense, which we know is all world. But I think their defense is better than I think y'all giving it credit for. But again, to ask Chad Henne in an AFC Championship game situation to beat even the Bills, like that's to me that's asking for a lot.
He could
But this
barely
was
handle the divisional.
week 7 of the regular season. Like okay, I can kind of see that, but in a game like this, I just don't see it. So I don't know. To Shelton's point, I appreciate the confidence in Chad Henne, but
Man,
I
listen,
don't.
you know what? I have confidence. Like I told y'all during the game, we talked about the game. I told you that they would still win. I have confidence in Andy Reid. I have confidence in his ability to figure out ways to get the ball to Tyreek Hill in space, to get the ball to Travis Kelce, and to make plays with those running backs.
You ain't say
I
that.
just think that they.
Didn't he say they was done?
I said that, but remember I
did.
said
But the thing, what makes a great quarterback, though, and I think that people really like don't pay attention to this fact a lot. Like, what makes a great quarterback, there's like 4 or 5 plays in a game where only that dude can make that play. Like, only that guy can make a play. Like, there's 4 or 5 plays within a game that only Patrick Mahomes, only
You can't even get it out, boy.
Yes, all that
only
bullshit. They're caught up.
Ben only those guys can make those plays. So to me, can Chad Henne play well in spurts or in series? Yes, absolutely. But there's going to come a point in that game where Chad Henne's going to have to make a play that only a Mahomes type quarterback can make, and is he going to be able to make that play? And that's the difference between a Patrick Mahomes and a Kirk Cousins. That's the difference between a Lamar Jackson and a Chad Henne. Something like that.
That's the thing, though, man. And not every game is needed. That play doesn't have to come from him necessarily. Like I said, if you get the ball to Tyreek Hill in space, that's the play you needed. That's where you needed that play to come from. It doesn't always come from the quarterback. We know that there's several quarterbacks in the league that can manage games. I mean, we had Trevor Dilfer win a Super Bowl managing the game. You know, you don't always have to have that play. You just got to have solid play and not turn the ball over. If we can ask him to play solid and not turn the ball over, he can win the game. I just feel like he'd have a shot. I think that the way that team is constructed, all he has to do is be able to find his weapon, make the plays necessary to win that game. It'll be a closer game than it would be if Patrick Mahomes played, but he'd have just as good a shot. I almost really want to see him have to do it.
Why are you saying that? No one's
me.
asking for that game. You're the only nigga in the world that's asking for that game.
Oh.
Bro, we want to see
wanna
Patrick.
see it.
We want to see.
Yeah.
We want to see the black man go against the white man. You know what I'm
We
saying?
wanted to see the black man go against the black man, but Lamar messed up his part of the bargain. Did you really say Trent Dilfer?
Say it again now.
You said Trent Dilfer?
Yeah.
He ain't playing with that defense, bro. Chad Henne's defense. I'm telling you, that Browns Chiefs game revealed a lot to me about that Kansas City defense. That when it comes to a good running game and a focused team, they will get down the field.
And if Stefanski would have been on his shit early on, they probably could have had a better chance of being in that game.
So are y'all
Stefanski fucked them over.
He blew that game, of course. Yep. But are y'all in any way comparing the Browns running game to the Bills running game? Because I don't know where in the world Singletary and Moss can compare in any universe to Nick Chubb.
But Josh Allen is significantly better than Baker Mayfield.
I would say that Stephon Diggs is significantly better than anybody that they can have. Now that's where the matchup problem comes from.
Shelton.
But then again, you got Honey Badger back there. I'm just saying it ain't gonna be.
I'm saying Josh Allen is a part of their running game as well. You know what I mean? Like it's not just the running backs. Josh Allen will extend plays, open up the pocket, and make a play on his own, either to get the first down or to throw a bomb to Stephon Diggs. That's a part of the running game scheme that makes the Kansas City Chiefs they have a good secondary, but when it comes to trying to, if a team is focused on just running it down your throat, and that's what the Bills are going to have to get most success, because I don't think Josh Allen throwing for 30 plus times is going to win the game, but he does help.
But isn't that what they tried to do Sunday?
They have done it throughout the season. I can't recall some of the teams, but Josh just has a pretty good passing games. So
look, I can't front. Josh Allen has balled out this year. Like I mess with him or whatever because I'm a Jet fan. I can't stand the Bills, obviously, but Josh Allen has proved, at least this year. I got to see him do it again consistently. But this year he got to done it. Like
he played some good ball. But let's talk about the game Sunday. Do y'all think that the Buffalo defense is a great defense, a good defense, average defense?
No, it's a solid defense. I would say it's a solid defense. It's a pretty solid to good defense.
Who did I say? I said the Ravens, right?
You said Buffalo.
I meant the Ravens defense. I'm sorry. I meant the Ravens defense.
Oh, okay. So is the Ravens defense better than Buffalo's? Is that your question?
No, my question was how is the Ravens defense to y'all? I'm sorry. I said Buffalo, but I meant the Ravens.
Wasn't it one of the top 10 defenses in the NFL?
Was it? Because I can't remember. I'm asking because I can't remember.
I thought you got your phone out. You ain't got the stats?
Sound like he was like a professor trying to set us up for this big question.
Nigga, just get to your question then. What's your real question?
I was honestly asking. That's what I was asking.
Oh, I think they were. I think they were one of the top defenses in the NFL. Ravens fans, let us know because we know y'all in here.
I think the Ravens defense statistically is better than Buffalo's. Yes.
I thought that they slacked off this year. I couldn't remember, but I just couldn't remember.
I think they improved their rankings when they beat up on all the bad teams. I think but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not gonna stop guessing.
Unless you watch.
There we go. Ravens got a top 5 defense. Mr. T said they got a top 5 defense, and Buffalo is ranked top 10. Shout out. We them boys said that, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
Yeah, appreciate that because I really
like Ravens are number 9 they had a top 9 defense at number 9.
I feel like the Ravens have more playmakers on their defense. I feel like the Ravens have more impactful players on their defense. Does that make it a better defense overall? I mean, I guess it's for your perception, I guess. I don't think I think the Ravens defense played well on Saturday. It didn't play as good as I thought it would because I think it gave up a big touchdown there. I think in the third quarter that I thought put them behind the 8 ball a little bit, especially with the struggles that Lamar was having and the kicking game. So, but to answer your though, man. But to answer your question, I think the Ravens have a better quote unquote defense than than the Bills. What does that mean ultimately? I don't know.
Yeah, the reason why I asked is that offense that the Bills played against the Ravens. I thought that defense played amazing come whatever day that was, Saturday or Sunday, but because they only gave up that one drive. That one drive to begin the third quarter was the only time that they did anything wrong that whole game. Because I look now I'm looking at it. Josh Allen threw for only 200 yards, and they only rushed for 32 yards in the game. They only ran the ball 16 times. So I don't see where that offense. I'm not saying that they can't explode because they definitely can. Stephon Diggs is one of the greatest receivers in the league right now, but I just don't see a lot coming from that running game. Josh Allen rushed 7 times for 3 yards in that game, unless Buffalo just had the blueprint for it. I don't see where they're gonna just come out and just dominate Kansas City like that. I just don't see it.
Well, that offense became
I
their
don't think
defense.
anybody's saying dominate.
Because once
I don't think anybody's saying dominate.
Lamar got behind, that scoreboard became an extra defender.
Yeah, it did.
Bro, come on, really Ken. We ain't talking about them no more. We talking about Buffalo.
It was the 12th man.
I can't stand, man. I don't even know who you are no more, man.
Ken boy, I tell you.
But to answer
Ken boy, I tell you.
To answer your original question, you said, is the Bills the scariest team left?
Yeah.
I would think it would be Tampa Bay.
Oh, geez.
And the only reason I say that is because, once again, you're dealing with a proven winner in Tom Brady, and they've caught fire at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that
we're going to get to Tampa.
That defense
all right. I can tell you want to go to Tampa. I know you got your bags packed. I'm telling you, we're going to get to Tampa. Trust me. Don't hold on.
I can't. I don't like it, but I'm just being real, man.
I can't tell you don't like it. You keep bringing the nigga name up. All right. But I do want to get back to that KC Browns game. Based on how Baker played that game, that was actually a pretty good outing for him. He threw an interception, but that wasn't the reason why they lost. Do y'all think that based off this playoff run that he'll get signed a long-term deal with Cleveland?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think
yeah, he will.
I think he and Stefanski definitely have a good relationship and an understanding. I think not Lamar, but Baker took a huge step forward. He basically saved his career because he was out the league. We even came on here. He was so bad when the season started. That shit, we were like, man, he trash. So, and I think they worked it out. I think that he has to continue this performance and improve, and he'll get another shot. I think they have their best shot of probably getting to a championship game this season. But who knows? But you got to really look at that guy and say, are you the difference maker or was it Stefanski? And that's the question they're going to have to ask themselves. So can I bring in another coordinator or another coach that can get the same results out of you, moving forward if things go bad with Stefanski? And I don't know the answer to that question just yet. I got to see more because he started his career so poorly. It's hard to judge him, So
he's had an uneven career trajectory so far, right? Because he had that one bad season. He had his rookie year. He came in after.
He was okay. Yeah,
and he played well his rookie year.
Yeah, he finished strong.
He played pretty well, right? And then he had just I call it the Freddie Kitchens year, where he just had an awful year last year. And then this year obviously was a step up. So he's kind of been a little bit uneven. I think they do sign him though, because he's their guy. They're committed to him. He was a number 1 overall pick. They built the franchise around him. He's the poster boy, and he hasn't done anything to at least give them trepidation that he's not the guy. I agree with you, Ken. That I wouldn't sit here and say, "Oh yeah, we're going to give you $200 million" and feel comfortable with that. No, I think he's got to. I think next season will be big for him as far as what kind of contract he'll get. But I can see him getting like a Ryan Tannehill type of deal, 4 for 60, 4 for 75, something like that. Where you're not exactly committing big time, 8-9 years level of money to him, but you're at least giving him the security that he's our guy for the next few years.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I think they just pick up the 5th-year option. Honestly, I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna say, "Give me one more year of that, and then we can talk.
But what do you do though if you're Cleveland? Like, this could be your Bengals moment, so to speak, where you finally get somebody in here that can turn your franchise that's been horrendous into something that's winning. So I think if he continues to win games, then you make that investment. If they continue to get to the playoffs, win divisions or whatever, you can make that investment because you feel comfortable because you're not a laughing stock anymore. But if you lose next year and then you're average the next year after, then I think you're probably right. They'll give him a 5th-year option to see how it goes. But I mean, he did a lot
right
for
now,
them this year, and Stefanski.
Well, I think right now they're definitely picking up the 5th-year option. Like I think right now, if I had to bet on it, they're definitely going to pick up that 5th-year option right now as we speak today. The problem is the Browns are kind of in a similar situation that a lot of NFL teams are in, right? They don't, is Baker Mayfield Patrick Mahomes? No. Is he, is he Chad Henne? No, right? So he's kind of in between. But the problem is you don't really have a replacement. Like the Browns have already gone through this, right? They've waited 30 years to find a quarterback. Yeah. So do you actually want to go through that situation where you're going to have to go look for the other guy? And like quarterbacks don't grow on trees. Like that's just a fact. Like they don't grow on trees. So
and you can if you got the front office right.
Decent one.
Yeah, if your front office is right, it makes all of that a little bit easier. Which it feels like they finally got it right with some of the choices they made post Freddie Kitchens.
Absolutely. So they're in a tough situation, but I think this is to me is more on him. Like if I were Baker Mayfield, man, I would understand your value, man. You're not Patrick Mahomes. Don't come out here trying to get $150 million and take up 20% of your cap. Like, yo, give me a Ryan Tannehill type of deal. Let's spread this money around. Let's keep these 2 great running backs that we have. And let's just continue to keep building this team.
Fuck that.
You know what I'm saying? Let's continue to add to the defense. Let's continue to add. Obviously, it's wishful thinking. Quarterbacks are always going to get the most money.
Let me tell you something,
It's going to be interesting to see what he does in that situation.
Let me tell you something, man.
We got a super chat.
All right, hold on. Let me say this real quick. If I was the quarterback that got you to the playoffs and the franchise in over 10-something years, man, you gotta pay me, bro. You gotta pay me. You can't give me Ryan Tannehill money. I'm sorry. You just can't do that.
But that's the thing, though, Ken. Like, okay, pay me what? Pay me Andrew Luck money, and then you're not Andrew Luck, and then you're in a situation where you pretty much hamstrung yourself. Like you're not going to get pieces around you unless
my bank account look like Andrew Luck.
I'm gonna say this: we've seen quarterbacks get paid money that they shouldn't have got paid, i.e., Jimmy G,
Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm. Like we've seen, like it don't take much. If Baker's best leverage, I didn't even think about it until Ken said it. I've done something for this franchise that no one has done in the last 20 since before I damn near was born.
Bruh.
And I almost took us to an AFC title game. So it's just like that to me that at least gives you the 5th-year option, but that does bring something to the negotiation table, especially for a team that's primed and ready to win now. They ready to win now. They don't really have time.
That's not a reason to extend a guy.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, he made a good point about Tannehill. Tannehill did some wonders in Tennessee, but he didn't command that big money like that.
That's because they still got to pay Henry.
Take more from
he's
me.
Ryan Tannehill. He can't command that big money. He was on the bench.
But I would take Ryan
over Baker.
I would take Ryan Tannehill right now than Baker.
Y'all are tripping.
I would
Ain't
too.
No way in hell.
I would too.
Nope. Can't do it.
Ryan Tannehill is better than Baker Mayfield.
To me.
It is, but
see, that's not the reason you invest in a guy long term. The type of money that we talk about. See, this is the thing. Like when you're investing on a quarterback, like we're talking Andrew Luck, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes money. Like if you're talking about that level of a contract, like you got to be damn sure that that's your guy. Like there is no this is an all-pro level quarterback.
I'm not saying that
I don't think anybody.
I'm not saying that he's gonna get that much money. I'm just gonna say a long-term deal. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he got leverage.
Is he the franchise QB?
And that's what. Yeah, I think he'll definitely get a long-term deal. Like I think he'll get a Tannehill type contract. Right. Like I think Tannehill signed for 4 for $70, something like that.
I'm the number one pick. You drafted me to turn this franchise around,
and you didn't do it.
Wait, huh? Excuse me. I'm sorry. What did you say?
He didn't do it. You're giving this man credit for success of a team. I mean, yeah, he did his job. He had a solid year for the first time in the time he's been there, and it wasn't even a solid full year. They relied on the running game to carry that team for the longest. You know that man was shaky. Ain't no way you can say that Tannehill is shaky and you saying that he's not.
What I'm saying is
Ain't no
that
way.
That's the point.
if I'm Baker and my first year, I had a playoff push, right? I made the bad decision of saying, give me Freddie Kitchens over whatever the guy was. Greg Williams, what's his name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Greg Williams.
Yeah.
So hey, my bad. My bad call. And I had a shit year. Now we get Stefanski, and we go to the playoffs, and like Nick said, I'm almost in the championship game. So I have half a year and a whole year of showing you that there are things that I could do in this league with the right players, and they gave him talent and the right coach. I got leverage because you drafted me as the number one quarterback to come in and change the franchise. Regardless of who you give credit to, if Baker isn't drafted, they are not going to the playoffs, and they are not winning games like that. I don't think you could put Tannehill in that offense and they'll still get to the playoffs like that.
I don't think that's. I don't know. I disagree completely.
That goes. I'm telling you, man. That can go a long way when it comes to negotiations. Whether we agree with it or not, it is a fact of the matter. He can use that. They've been shit, and haven't. Why do you think Marvin Lewis lasted so long? Because he came in and turned the franchise around. They were like, man, I don't want to go back to where I was. And now look at him.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
I agree that buys you some equity, man, but not enough to me. At least to me. Maybe, and I'm not an expert. I'm not, I don't run an NFL franchise.
You just can't disrespect
but to your point, Ken, but to your point, like Mark Sanchez could have had the same leverage negotiating his contract. His first 2 years in the league, he got the Jets to 2 straight AFC Championship games. Probably should have beat the Steelers in the second AFC Championship game. So obviously, it's a different situation. Things worked out totally different. You can't compare Mark Sanchez's situation to Baker Mayfield. I get that. But what I'm saying is that if you go by that, right, then Mark Sanchez, by the time it was time to him to negotiate his deal, he could have said, "Yeah, well, I was the steadiest quarterback this franchise has had since Vinny Testaverde. Like, give me my money." Like, it don't work that way.
No, I'm just saying. But Mark, in those first 2 years, had 3 years left, so you had all that time to evaluate him for that whole contract. Baker's at the end. That's what I'm saying. This is at an interesting point because he's at the end of his deal, and this is just happening in his fourth year now?
Well, he's got his fourth year. He's got his fourth year coming up.
He's got his fourth year coming up. That's what I'm saying. He got one more year.
He's got the fifth. He's got 2 more years. Essentially, he's got 2 more years.
Yeah, but that fifth-year option that's an extreme. That's if you don't get a deal done, then you do the fifth-year option. But this fourth year is where, like, if he does good, well, they can pay him on a, like, all right, we believe in you. Come to the table. If they wait to the 5th year and he balls out again, that's way more money they're gonna have to pay.
That's a good point.
Than in the 4th year.
Yep, pay him now. Get it over with.
That's why I said this year is like pay you. That's why they always tell if you see a quarterback eating earth. That's why no matter what Lamar Jackson is doing, he gonna get paid sap. They gonna try to make sure that deal gets done sap. Because if he win any more games and takes them deeper in the playoffs, that's the higher that motherfucking bill get.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read these 2 super chats. We got 2 of them, man. I appreciate you, Eric Kirby. He said, "Do you guys think Baker and OBJ repair their relationship and move forward for next year?"
OBJ's on the trading block. He going to Baltimore.
I would love to see him there.
They would never do that, but yeah, I think OBJ's out of there.
Yeah, they gotta trade him.
Get the ball.
Yeah, they gotta trade him.
If I can argue that the Browns almost went to an AFC title game without OBJ, then yeah, he's showing you throughout his career how much a talented wide receiver is meaningless when it comes to winning games.
Yeah, which has been said a lot. So
well,
do they have a fractured relationship?
OBJ, though,
do they have a fractured relationship?
I don't think they do. I don't think so. I think on the court, I mean I'm watching basketball, but on the field it's not the best relationship. I don't think. I mean, I think they get along great. I just don't think they have good chemistry.
I think part of that is coaching.
To me, OBJ,
so, yes.
the problem with.
Go ahead, Manny.
The problem with OBJ though is he's been hurt the last 2 years, this year and then last year he missed some time also. So what is OBJ? Like, you got to start questioning, like, yo, what is this dude? Like, what kind of value? What am I going to get back by trading him too? That's the other. Like, does Cleveland maybe need to keep him until the trade deadline next year to see what they have in him? Because right now, like, I don't know if anybody can sit here and say, yeah, we know the OBJ. We're getting the 2016 OBJ. Like, I don't think anybody can say that right now.
I'm saying you don't need OBJ when you got Baker going to Rashard Higgins and getting first downs.
Yeah, but
no, I'm not saying he's.
I know.
Anything. I'm just saying, like, you're able to complete your offense. You still got Jarvis Landry and Njoku showed out in that playoff game. I've never seen him catch the ball like that before since he entered the league.
And you got Hooper.
And you got Hooper. Like, you have other. Baltimore has shown you that you don't need wide receivers to win games.
What?
I would argue as much to say as Baker got the best group of skill players in the league. When
all right,
you put them all together.
Forget anything he said. So
who's better?
Falcons.
Like, I think Baker has better receivers than Lamar Jackson does.
That's not saying much. That's like saying you got a Lakers hat.
And running back. Who has the best skill position players in the league combined? Runners and receivers. What team?
The Bucks.
The Bucks don't have their running backs can't compare to the running backs in Cleveland. The wide receivers match up when you talk about OBJ. They're not
that far off. They're not that far off.
Yeah, the running backs are not that far off from Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
I said not that far off. Yeah, you talking about Jones? You talking about Jones and Fournette? Those are two good backs. Anybody would want either one of those backs.
Good and those are two good. Those are two different things. That's not even the same. They're not even the same strategy.
Is Nick
fine? You know what?
Hold on. Let me ask you this: is Nick Chubb the best running back in the league?
Nick Chubb, I would guarantee
he's one of them.
I asked, is he the best running back? Is he the best running back in the league?
I wouldn't say he's the top. I
think is Kareem Hunt a top 5 back in the league right now?
Yes, he is. Yes,
when healthy, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Nick, hold on.
Yes, Kareem.
You know what, Shelton? Okay, fine. Maybe they have a slight edge over the Bucks backs. Let's talk about these wideouts.
Yeah,
what you gonna say about Landry, Higgins compared to Evans and Godwin
and Antonio Brown?
Come on, bro. Landry, OBJ, and Higgins are just as good as
no, they're not.
The other
no, they're not.
I knew it was coming.
All right, let's Kim, what was your point?
I was with you in the running game.
What's the difference?
What's the difference between Rashard Higgins and Antonio Brown? Or what's the difference between Rashard Higgins and Chris Godwin?
Rashard Higgins and Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown's going to the Hall of Fame. Like, what are you talking about?
Antonio Brown's not going to the Hall of Fame. He's actually a better receiver. But what he's doing on the field,
before he went postal, Antonio Brown was what going to the Hall of Fame.
Right, but if you put stats for stats, what they're doing on the field for the team right now, Higgins plays better than Antonio Brown. Is he a better player? Heck no.
Higgins
usage. He's more used right now, but
that's how we got to go.
But I would still. But if you call the Browns right now, taking all of Antonio Brown's issues off the field out of the table, right? If you call the Browns right now, the Browns would make that trade in a heartbeat. Rashard Higgins, Antonio Brown, they would make that.
And they'll probably give you Nick Chubb too.
No, they wouldn't give you Nick Chubb. He's a super talent, though. I'm not saying now Antonio Brown is one of the most talented receivers ever played.
Don't sound.
But what I'm saying is his production on the field this year,
what is your point?
In comparison to what Higgins did
what is your point?
Baker Mayfield is less. Correct?
What is your point?
Mike Evans is better than any other Browns receiver.
Godwin is too.
I would say that.
Godwin is too, and so is Antonio Brown.
Too.
No, Godwin is not better than Landry.
Yes, he is.
Not as many drops as he got.
Let's get
Come on, man.
I don't even want to talk about this no more. I don't even know what your main point was.
I had a point and I forgot what it was.
Let's get to these picks.
If he had a better quarterback. That's my point. If he had a better quarterback, we'd be talking more about Landry than we would be Godwin.
Let's get to these picks. All right, Sean, since you got all the answers, who you got between Buffalo and KC?
Kansas City, regardless, hands down, no matter who starts.
All right, Manny, who you got?
Do we know Mahomes' situation yet?
No. It's looking like he could play.
Is Mahomes? I think he's going to play. It's Kansas City, man. Kansas City's got to go on, man. I think Buffalo will put up a good fight. I think it'll be a competitive game, but it's going to be Kansas City. Now, if Mahomes doesn't play, man, if Mahomes doesn't play, I'm going to still go with Kansas City, but I'm not confident in that pick.
Who you got, Cam?
Oh man, Jesus. Chiefs. I didn't want to pick a team. I know I'm cursing every team that I pick, but I don't think you can mess up the Chiefs pick. I'll say that. This is contingent on Mahomes is playing.
This is the last time we all agreed on a team they lost badly. So because of that, I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I'm going with Buffalo just for the fact that if Mahomes ain't playing, they ain't winning this game.
If Mahomes don't play, give me Buffalo. I'm gonna say that on the record too, so y'all will have both.
And I'm gonna stick to the team. I'm just gonna pick it out because if you can't live with your worst case scenario, you probably didn't make a good decision. So worst case scenario, the Chiefs don't have Patty Mahomes. Then I gotta go with Buffalo.
They have no shot if
they ain't got
Chad
no
Henne.
shot. I saw what Chad Henne did in the quarter. He won and lost them the
He
game
did.
in the same quarter. I'm not trusting Henne. You got to be on Henne to trust him.
Mm-hmm.
So, it came down to a fourth down play where Andy Reid pulled some. Andy Reid had to wash his hands out that game because he pulled out his ass. So
Andy Reid took advantage of what everybody was thinking is that there's no way they're going to run the ball. So it was a psychological warfare that he pulled on him, and it worked. That's why Romo
was a brilliant play.
Yelling that hard.
It was a brilliant play call, and it will build.
They ran it before.
His confidence going.
Yeah, it wasn't shit. It was just it was a short little big route.
Mahomes has done it like twice this year, Shelton.
No, what I'm saying is it was now don't get me wrong. Henne ain't in Mahomes' stratosphere. What I'm saying is it was a brilliant play call because nobody expected it.
Oh,
anybody in the world,
the decision
to run that play.
You need to add that.
So
the decision to go for it there.
Yeah, the balls to even take the shot. Nobody expected. That's why I call it brilliant, not the actual play.
I just don't understand. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. How in the hell they let fucking Chad Henne run for 13 yards in there, bro?
I did not know he could run that fast.
And that was a terrible spot. He should have got the first down.
He shouldn't have been there, man.
His arm went down.
He didn't get the. I thought he got the first, but it didn't matter because I knew
first down.
I knew they were going to get the first.
His arm went down, but the ball was back here.
Yeah, I knew they were going to get the first based off that run.
I look back at it
because it was like it was 3rd and 14, and he ran 13 yards. Like you gonna go for it at that point.
He was running like
I don't think he expected to even run that. At that point, I thought he was like, man, I can't believe nobody even near me. Like
exactly, they didn't expect him to run.
No, they did. He didn't expect to run. His legs just started moving. Looked like, but man, that game was lost on that one fumble. That right there would have probably won the game.
Yeah, Higgins.
Because it would have.
That go your top 3 receiver, boy.
Right, I'm for real. Yeah.
Hey, look, he my top.
Give the Chiefs defense for that blitz call on second down, man. Spagnuolo, that blitz call on second down that got the sack that completely changed that. Yeah.
Hey, Steve Spag has won 3 Super Bowls off of just blitz calls. Trust me, as a Giants fan, I appreciate him. But when it come down to nitty gritty, that nigga gonna blitz. I'll give it that.
But I tell you, seriously though, what that play call though on 4th down by the Chiefs said to me was that Andy Reid had more confidence in his defense than he did in Baker Mayfield's ability to lead that team down and score and win that game.
No, he had more confidence in his offense.
Yes.
He said that I can put any motherfucker behind at QB and I can get the job done.
Yep.
That's what he proved with that play.
I agree with that.
He said, fuck the defense because the defense.
Best part of his team,
Go ahead, Manny.
No, the best aspect of his team is his offense. Like that, the Kansas City Chiefs make their money on offense, not on defense. And Andy Reid did what a lot of coaches are too scared to do. I'm gonna win this game with my offense, the best part of my team. He didn't put it on the defensive end. I honestly, if he had punted or had to kick the field goal or whatever, I think they lose that game. There's no question in my mind the defense does not stop them there. Andy Reid did. That's why I loved it because it was gutsy. He said, "You know what? I'm not gonna leave it to chance, and I'm not gonna hope and pray that my defense comes up with a couple stops. No, I'm gonna win this game right here. To me, if you can't get 2 yards when you got Hill and Kelsey and the amount of skill position players that they have, then you don't even deserve to be in the NFL champion in the AFC Championship game. So I think Andy Reid won that game knowing he had to win it with his offense.
Yeah,
Shelton's just trying to push an
I
agenda.
I look at it differently. Like I said, I look at it like he said. I have no confidence in Baker's ability to lead this team down the field and score on me. I just don't think he felt like he could do it. And you couldn't kick a field. If it was a field goal, you were down 2, then you punt that ball. But down 3, down 4 or more, and you know they need a touchdown. I didn't think they could get it. I didn't think they could either. He went for it.
What side of the field was it on?
It was on the Chiefs side.
So they had a short field?
Mm-hmm.
You were okay, yeah. Shelton. You really pushing.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't trust Baker. No, I don't see what you're saying. I think you're dead ass right.
Why he go for it then? So if he trusted Baker, why did he go for it?
He was trying to win the game.
Yeah.
You play to win the game.
You winning, man. You win. What are you talking about? Who goes for it?
He seals the victory.
So you saying if
seals
this
the victory.
Game, hold up, time out. You saying if they were playing a team, let's get a good quarterback. Let's say he playing any other quarterback. We're gonna talk
Aaron
about
Rodgers,
for example.
Josh Allen.
Playing Aaron Rodgers, the decision is the same.
Does he go for that on 4th down?
Yes.
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 No, sir.
No.
You punt that ball.
Yes.
You punt that ball. They have no timeout. They have no timeout.
So
yeah, you punt that.
You go right now. You take your life savings. You take your house. You take your college, your kids' college fund, everything, and you go to Vegas right now. And you're betting on that Kansas City. You're betting on that Kansas City defense. You're crazy.
He goes for it.
No way. I'm not betting on the defense, but there's no way I'm giving Aaron Rodgers a short field in time.
We're not talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about Baker Mayfield right now. From what you saw in that game,
that's why I said I wouldn't care. That's why I would hope I made it. But if I didn't, I ain't scared of him taking the ball down the field.
Honestly,
that's what I'm saying.
That kind of Shelton. That kind of call is that I don't give a fuck who's on that other side. This is my side. You know what I'm saying? That's a call that, like, even if it was Aaron Rodgers, it could have been Tom Brady in his prime, Joe Montana. He's like, just like Manny said, if I can't get 2 yards, I ain't meant to be here anyway.
But on top of that, if it is a more elite quarterback, what would you rather take your chances with? Ending the game in 4th and 1, or giving that elite quarterback a chance to win the game on a short field or a long field, Shelton?
You never give him a what would every other football player have decision in every other situation? What would they have done in that situation?
They probably would have punted or kicked the field goal, and they're wrong every single time. And they're wrong every single time.
98% of the time, when you got to score a field, if you got to kick a field goal, it's different. Once again, that's a whole different thought process. But 98% of the time, nobody's taking that chance.
Because
nobody's gonna do what he did Sunday.
Because that's an old traditional way of coaching football. Andy Reid has gone for it to end games, 2 more times this season with Patrick Mahomes. He just did it again in the playoffs with Chad fucking Henne. So that tells me that what Manny. No, your point's wrong, though, Shelton. That tells me what Manny is saying is that I believe in my offense more than my defense, so I'm going to end the game now because my offense is efficient. The plays I'm calling is great. Yeah. I am not going to give anybody a chance to win this game on me if I can win it now.
So you
exactly.
Saying
why prolong the game?
So he believes in Chad Henne.
I believe he believes in his offense.
He believed in Chad Henne at that moment.
I keep saying y'all saying first off, you saying you don't believe in Chad Henne. So he does because he stuck him in positions and he put him. Even that play where he scrambled for the yards, I thought they were going to run the ball and turn it back over to the defense, and he just didn't do it. He gave that man a chance because he believes
in his offense. He believes in his offense.
He does not believe in the quarterback on the other side. Even if you stop me, I'm going to stop you.
Shelton, you're just trying to push an agenda, bro.
Shelton,
you're just trying to shit on Baker, low-key.
Shelton, if they make the first down, make the first down right there, the game is over. So that's all the more.
But if he does not make the first down,
the game is over.
That's what I'm saying. No, if he does not make that first down, if you got Aaron Rodgers on the other side, the game is over.
Bro,
if you got Baker Mayfield on the other side, I'm okay with it.
Shit,
I'm okay
not
with
me.
Baker
Not
Mayfield on the
me.
40-yard line,
Mm-mm.
needing to load them down for a touchdown.
Well, shit, we ain't got to
I
worry
ain't.
about that,
Baker
Shelton,
can't do
because
it.
you know what?
I
He
get your
ended the game.
I get your premise. But you're giving the Chiefs defense more credit than
For
any of
real.
us are willing to give.
I'm
And even
not
Andy
giving
Reid
This
is
is the worst
I'm not
defense
even
left in
giving
the
the Chiefs
playoffs.
defense the credit. I'm saying that I don't trust Baker Mayfield. It
All
ain't
right.
even about the Chiefs defense.
That's what he should have said
Baker
like
Mayfield.
12 minutes ago.
I said
All
that.
right. Let's
I
move
said
on.
Baker.
But guess what? We'll
I
never
said he
we'll
won't
never
Hey,
know.
Shelton,
We'll never
we're
know.
moving on. We're moving on. Let's get to the team that you wanted to talk about since early on. You've been name dropping them like the game in a rap song.
I'm gonna just sit this one out.
We got Tampa Bay at the New Orleans Saints. Man, that game was very.
The MAGA Bowl. That's what that was.
Magamania.
It was.
It was that, man. Drew Brees looked like a piece of shit in a number 9 jersey. That motherfucker was.
So the color was appropriate.
Y'all wild. Y'all wild.
Just because it glittered don't mean it's gold. Hey, these.
Louisiana.
So what you got
So
to say
y'all
about?
think Breeze is done?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Brees,
done.
Brees has
He
been
done.
done.
He barbecue
But is
chicken,
it-
bro. He done.
Was he that bad because of the injury? You think though?
He's
You think
that-
he came back from that injury too quick?
Nah, I
No,
think
he's just old.
Yeah.
He's done because he's just old. Like sometimes we just gotta say it, man. It's Father Time is undefeated. There's a reason for it. It's undefeated. Until further notice, he is undefeated. He's just
But
done.
the
He's
man-
old, man. Look.
Know what you say?
No, I was just saying, like, yo, he just looked. I mean, I thought Breeze looked. He looked bad, but I mean, it's been typical for Drew Brees. Like he's had these kind of performances the last 3 years in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not as bad as
When it
this
comes-
game, obviously. Not as bad as
Yeah.
this game, obviously. I mean, this was all-time level bad. But I just think he's just old, man. I don't think it was the injury. Like I don't think anything. Like you could have shot his arm up with steroids to make him throw the ball better.
Man.
And I don't think it would have made much of a difference.
Drew Brees
Like, I
looked
just
like.
don't
Yeah, I
think he
watched
can-
the game.
Nah, Drew
We're
Brees
talking
looked.
about, did you watch the game? Yeah, I watched the game. I'm not asking if he done that. Like I said, the only reason I asked that question was I'm thinking like, how much of this is he still affected? Because he came back so fast from that injury. And I know he struggled in the past, but that didn't even look like the same guy. You know what I mean? It just really didn't look like the same person at all. He couldn't throw the ball down the field. At least before, he was making some throws. He was making nothing. He looked terrible. I'm like, how much pain is he in?
Was it Breeze or was
he
it the game
suffering
plan? You think the game plan by Peyton had anything to do with it?
No, I think it was more Breeze than anything else.
It was
Like I said,
Breeze. It was Breeze.
yeah, he looked bad. He looked horrible. But I was just trying. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, part of you don't fall off the cliff that fast. Part of that.
Yeah, you do.
Some people do.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Quarterbacks, yeah, they do, man.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Look at Phillip Rivers. Look at Phillip Rivers.
The reason why I
2 years
asked
ago.
the reason why I asked if it was the game plan is because maybe Peyton coming into the game knew that Breeze can throw the ball downfield because I missed the first half. I saw the second half because it didn't seem like they even challenged them downfield. So if Peyton knew that coming in, then he probably would have adapted the game plan to account for that.
Yeah, and the one pass where they did throw the ball downfield, they brought in Jameis Winston to make that throw. And they could have kept Drew Brees in the game and ran that same play, and it would have had the same success. So you took him out on the one play where you had to throw deep. So to me, what that says is they knew coming in things weren't right. And whether it be he's, Father Time or whether it be the injuries, because that man had a serious injury.
Man,
I don't see how he can throw the ball 5 yards, let alone 10 and 15. I don't see how he can even be playing at this point. He broke every rib.
The other aspect of this too is the other terrible turnovers they had. I mean, everybody's gonna focus on Drew Brees. I mean, Cook, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like just fumbling the ball right there. I mean, to me, that was just as bad of a turnover as the other Drew Brees picks. Like those were just terrible. Like, but yeah, I look, honestly, like even if Drew Brees is obviously he wasn't healthy. I'm not gonna even sit here and say he was fully healthy. Like clearly clearly, probably physically, he wasn't 100%. But even if he's at 100%, like instead of 4 interceptions, maybe he throws 2. Yeah, I don't know. To me, he's just old. It was time.
Drew Brees was out there. Drew Brees was out there looking like Dennis Quaid on any given Sunday. That man was like, I was like, where they have my nigga Jamie was literally on the bench. Like, bro, you could have put that nigga in. Honestly, I think they were like, damn, bro, Taysom Hill, bro. This is what they were looking like, bro. They probably would have subbed in Taysom Hill after that second pick, honestly. I think they just Jameis Winston was just that unprepared as far as I guess he's third on the depth chart. Yeah. How much live action does he gonna get outside of that trick play? So maybe they were just like, fuck it, this is Drew Brees' last run anyway. We're gonna start over anyway. Like
that's what it is.
And they still have a solid team. They still got a solid enough team to compete next year. But honestly, they need it they have to really define out who is going to be the starting QB next year. Is it going to be Taysom or are they going to take a chance on James? Because
I think he said something. It may be James because he said something to James on the sideline. Looked like to me he said it's your team now or something like that. At the end of the game, they were sitting there and I saw Drew Brees' face. He said something
He's just trying to get back with black people. They ain't got shit to do with nothing.
He didn't say that. Yeah, none of the 31 other NFL teams said that to Jameis Winston. So I doubt Drew Brees said that.
I mean,
man, stop with the Jameis slander.
He said something to him.
We move. We're better than that.
Nah, I think you got to see what you got in Taysom Hill, man. I mean, honestly, the dude didn't disappoint when he played the 4 or 5 games that he played. I mean, I think he only had really one bad
hyping
game
this dude up again.
Against the Eagles? No, I think
Taysom ain't shit, man.
He ain't.
Taysom ain't shit.
Yeah, Taysom did not prove anything to me.
You want to watch another rerun of the Jameis Winston experiment?
He's better than Taysom Hill.
Do we know that? I don't know.
Yes, we do know that.
We do. Yes, we do. We definitely know that.
You don't know that shit. Ken.
We do know that.
How could he not
I know we pro brother on the show, but come on now.
The man was a starter for 4 or 5 years. Taysom Hill can't even get on the damn field.
That ain't got nothing to do with black and white. That's that dude throwing them touchdowns. And yeah, he threw a lot of picks, but at some point he'll get out of there.
Manny.
He threw a lot of picks. Yeah,
it was 1 year where he threw 30 picks. All of the other years he didn't throw that many damn picks.
Right. And how many touchdowns he threw?
Manny, I would say
15.
I would say this, Manny. Jameis Winston will be in the most stable organization he's ever been if he stays with the Saints. And I'll also even further saying
I agree with you.
I'd rather watch Kevin Hart in a film than Kevin Hart stand up. It's the same nigga, but it's a different setting. So that's what I'm gonna say about Jameis Winston.
So, Manny, in your opinion, you think Jameis Winston is not one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the league right now?
I think he should absolutely get an opportunity to start. I'm not saying don't give him the opportunity. I think you go into next season. I think you go into next training camp, and you say if they don't make it, if they don't draft a quarterback, or somehow they don't get Deshaun Watson or whatever, I think you go into next training camp and you say, hey, it's an open competition. Best man wins. Taysom Hill, you're going to get a full, fair opportunity. No more of this gadget shit. No more of this tight end and all. No. You're going to get a fair opportunity to be a quarterback. Same thing with Jameis. Jameis, this is your chance. This is your opportunity now. And I'm going to be harder on Jameis Winston. If you can't beat out the so-called tight end, the so-called gadget play quarterback or whatever, then you don't deserve to be a quarterback. Anyway. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. I think he gets an opportunity next year to be the guy. And if he falls flat on his face or if he doesn't win the job outright in training camp, then you have your answer right there.
How many is that? One? Is that one?
That's one.
That's one. Okay.
He lucky we at the end, towards the end. But let's talk about.
Oh, here we go.
Here
we go. Ken was out there bashing. Ken was out there doing his best Bill Polian impersonation. But somehow, when I bash Lamar Jackson, I'm over here. It's MAGA Manny again. Okay, got it. I see where y'all need.
Manny, chill out. These just jokes, man. But Sheldon, let's get on your boy Brady. That punk ass man. I've been hating on Brady all year long. He been proving me wrong all year long, kid. I hate it. I don't even like coming on the show.
That's why I stopped. Man. I give up.
That white man luck don't quit.
I just like, man. I you know, it's It's Trump, man.
He get a third, fourth stringer in Washington. We get motherfucking
old ass Brees, who has failed for the last 3 years at home, along with Sean Payton, and they have like the worst game of the year. And Brady didn't even do shit.
Drew Brees was out there like Chris Kringle.
He's terrible. Yeah.
Like, and now Brady's about to go into an NFC title game against Aaron Rodgers. I thought
Brady.
Go ahead, man.
I thought Brady played as bad as Drew Brees without the interceptions. Honestly, like I thought Brady just played horribly. Like I was not impressed with Tom Brady. I know everybody wanted to make it a Tom Brady love fest after the game, but Tom Brady to me played just as bad as Drew Brees. Honestly, he didn't turn the ball over, which is a credit to him, but he played terribly. He missed throws. He just looked bad. Next week's going to be a massacre. Let's be fair. Let's be honest. We don't even got to waste time on this nonsense. Like, the Bucs are going to get fucking skull drugged next week by the Packers. In Lambeau, like...
So you got Green Bay, Manny?
I got Green Bay all the way. I think this is Aaron Rodgers' year. I think he's proven a lot of people wrong, a lot of people that wanted to hate on him and talk shit about him. I think he's going to shut a lot of people up. And the game is in Lambeau. Never bet against the Packers in Lambeau.
The only saving grace about this matchup, because I do not like Brady versus Rodgers, because I always feel like Brady somehow gets the dub, somehow, some way. The only thing is that he's a 40-year-old white man going to Green Bay in the middle of January, or at the end of January.
And it's supposed to be snowing.
It's supposed to be cold. He left Boston for a reason.
And what did he say? He said, "You won't catch me."
20-something years.
Didn't he say he didn't want to live upstate again?
Yeah, he's like, you ain't gonna never see me back up that motherfucker.
And now you got to go up there.
It's like when you got your new wife and you go see your old ex-wife because of the kids. You hate seeing that motherfucker. He going right back to the cold. That's the only saving grace he got. And also because those other players, for the most part, this is their deepest playoff run ever. If not, this is the first time they're in a playoff title game. So I'm going off the vets, off of the Packers, because they were just there last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Green Bay, of course, because I've been hating on Brady all this time. I gotta keep the same energy. That's what y'all tell me. But that white man luck with Tom Brady. I wouldn't be surprised if they won.
I just knew he was gonna find a way to win that game. I just didn't know it was gonna be because of Brees.
Brees is just done here.
And Cook. Because Cook, they were driving and probably going to score.
That was the dumbest turnover I ever seen, too. I was like, bro, how do you, your big ass, he was talking shit earlier that game, too.
It was inexcusable. It turned the game. It turned the game over. It turned the game around.
And where was Michael Thomas? I know he was hurt, but golly, I need a little bit more from Michael.
That's why Peyton got to get bashed too. He's getting off scot free.
Yeah, that was Brees.
How do you?
Brees couldn't get him the ball.
Peyton got to call some plays for him. Everything was short. The Bucs receivers played everything short too. They didn't challenge them down the field.
The only time they got down the field, that's the thing about this Bucs secondary. They shitty when it comes down the field. If you throw that thing down at the field, that's why Aaron Rodgers is a great matchup. They got shitball corners. But if you keep everything close and you have no run game, or you sure up the run game, it's a wrap. Who you got? What you got to say, man, Ken? What you got?
About what? What are we doing?
Brady and Rodgers. We're gonna get to your favorite team in a little bit though.
All right. So man, I'm with you, man. It's just I don't know. I think going to Aaron Rodgers has something to prove. He's been quiet somewhat. He was here last year, right? Were they at home?
They were
on the road.
Yeah, no, they were on the road. They were on the road.
Yeah. So it's at Lambeau.
San Francisco ran through them.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's at Lambeau. They are extremely confident. They can run the ball. They got like 3 different running backs. Lazard's playing well. We already know what Adams can do. That tight end they found out of nowhere is balling. Rodgers made the Rams look. The Rams super duper defense with y'all favorite player Aaron Donald, who was nowhere to be found, basically got torched.
Here's his one.
Yeah, he got torched. He got torched. Well, not he, but the Rams got torched. This is supposed to be an elite defense. And now you go against the Bucs defense? Psh, get out of here. You should beat the shit out of them boys. So I'm going with the Bucks. I'm going with the Bucks on this one. Because I think somehow, some way, Tom Brady and Nick's phrase, white man luck, somehow rears his head once again. Tom Brady is used to playing in the cold. It won't affect him. It may affect them other dudes because he's bringing a bunch of black folks to the cold. So
From Florida.
From Florida. so that may not work out. so that's going to be a problem. But it just feels like we're meant to have a Mahomes-Brady Super Bowl.
I don't want that.
I
Man.
do not either. Everybody know that.
I don't want that shit either.
I want the State Farm Super Bowl. I want that so bad.
I
want it too.
I want every timeout to be sponsored by State Farm.
Oh man, you know they can't. They would love to have that.
Well,
man.
They ready for that shit.
Man.
Oh God, they ready.
They thought about it last year. They thought it was gonna happen last year.
Yep. Thought about it.
The thing y'all are forgetting, and I know Sheldon's gonna get to his pick, but the thing y'all are forgetting, that 38-10 skull drugging in Week 6, Tampa had against Green Bay. I think Green Bay's got that shit put on a bulletin board somewhere.
And they had a lead in that game. And they had a lead in that game. They were dominating that game early.
They were up 10-0.
Yeah, they was up 10-0. Then Aaron Rodgers started getting trigger happy. He threw like 2 to 3 picks, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I don't think that happens again. So I think it's Green Bay all the way, man.
Who you got, Shelton?
This is tough for me. It's tough because I don't give me Green Bay, man. I'm just gonna say it. I really think that Tampa Bay is gonna pull it out, but Ken picked Tampa Bay, which means they're doomed.
Come on, man.
Hey, if I see Josh Allen get out of the AFC, let me tell you something. Y'all gonna miss me for a week. I can't deal with that. If I see Josh Allen and Tom Brady in a Super Bowl,
can't do it, bro.
I'm not showing up that week. We're gonna have some substitutes.
Somebody's gonna take care of it. Josh Allen and Tom Brady, bro, I can't do it.
I'm not watching
a Patriot and a damn Bill, like nah, man.
But if Kansas City does make it, I'll say this: they got good storylines for both the NFC quarterbacks, though. So either way, the NFL wins as long as Kansas City makes it.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna be him against Tom Brady. The old legend against the young bull. That's like that'll be the passing of the torch if he beats Tom Brady for the Super Bowl. So that would actually be a better thing, to be honest.
He'll have 5 more to go.
No,
He'll have 5 more to go.
America don't want to see Tom Brady anymore, man.
Yes, they do. They just lost Trump.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. If
last thing they want is a black man in the Super Bowl again.
Don't Tampa Bay got red in it?
Yeah.
You're going to see all red caps. Oh, boy. Nah, but I got a question about the Rams because I know they're the ones that fell to the Packers last weekend. The question I got for y'all, what's the best move for the LA Rams if you had to choose between the two? Trade Jared Goff or trade Aaron Donald?
Trade Jared Goff twice.
Get Goff the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, Goff's got to go.
If I had to choose between one of them, trade Goff. But I don't think neither one of them is happening. So.
Yeah,
Goff. They made it. I think
if you trade Goff. If you trade Goff, who you getting?
That's the problem.
That's the thing, though, man. Like we always talk about replacing these quarterbacks. Like who are you replacing him with?
Sam Darnold.
It's easy to say, get rid of this guy, but who are you?
I'll choose Sam Darnold over Jared Goff right now.
Hey, that might not be
bad.
Would too.
Because honestly, if you look at that draft, because I always said that the Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota is the worst draft 1 and 2. I'm changing that. It's Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. If you look at that draft and how much the Rams gave up for Jared Goff and what he's done,
even though
with Sean McVay,
they've both been to Super Bowls, though.
No, but we know what Jared Goff was.
They've both been to Super Bowls.
No, we know what. Well,
he did outplay Drew Brees in the NFC Championship game. Like
I'm saying that's all schematics because we saw Jared Goff without Sean McVay and we seen him with Sean McVay. So my thing is just like Kyle Shanahan. You put anybody back there, he can bring the best out of him. Jared Goff has arm talent, so obviously we saw when they were slinging that thing around. Sam Darnold could be just a better overall QB, potentially. So that's the reason why I'm like, they don't need they don't need anybody who's like world class because clearly they went to a Super Bowl without world class. You just need somebody who's out there who's competent and can make the throws. So I would choose obviously Jared Goff, but I do think it's interesting that Aaron Donald, when it counts, seems to be schemed out.
Yeah.
And you can't pay. And to me, you can't pay a man that much money.
He never
to be schemed out in the games that we need you,
bro. So 2 things. One, I think there are reports that McVay and Goff are beefing.
That's it.
So that's that. But 2, this Aaron Donald hype needs to stop. And everybody keep talking about, oh man, it's not all about counting stats, this and another.
There we go.
Shit, bullshit. Because you know what? When I remember defenders, when you look across the field and you see Lawrence Taylor gonna have counting stats. Derek Thomas is gonna have counting stats. The guy in what's his name? The safety in Pittsburgh was gonna have counting stats.
Polamalu.
Like big time elite defenders make plays on the field and they turn game around. You feel their impact. You don't feel it by proxy. Like just because they just in the area. They make plays. They impact the game. They get big sacks. They get big stops and this, that, and the other. They beat double teams. They do all of these things. Aaron Donald just occupies space. And they use advanced analytics to validate how great he's supposed to be. It's all smoke and mirrors.
I'm not going to go that far.
Well, you should.
I'm going to say, though, when it counts, I've seen this in the last couple of years, the last few years that they've been in the playoffs competing. It seems like you wonder, like, because he showed up in that Seahawks game, but to me, that's just him being familiar with the Seahawks. They play them twice a year. But when it comes to these other teams, especially like inclement weather, when you're clearly a West Coast team, man,
What's the guy that played for the Giants? He's a host now.
Oh, Michael Strahan.
He impacted games.
He impacted a hell of a game.
And sometimes he was getting double teamed. I'm just saying, Reggie White, Tampa, when they had their guys on the front line. I could give you countless number of examples of guys that impacted the game and made plays. Aaron Donald never takes over a game. Never is being hyperbolic. You guys know I don't mean that.
I'm talking about the most important.
But I'm just saying, big games.
Yeah,
big time defensive elite players, no matter what position they play, when it comes to big games, for the most part, they're going to show up. Give me some games, and don't just give me 1 or 2. Give me multiple games of Aaron Donald, like really, really making a big player impacting a game, especially when it counts and when they need it. I've yet to see it. So that's just me.
All right, before we get out of here, Manny, I do got a question for you. I'm glad you was on today. It's about the Jets. Is Watson headed to New York?
Turn the camera on for that one.
Yeah, he changed his whole attire. Is Watson headed to the Jets or Miami?
Man, I don't know. A, is Houston going to trade him either way, right? I think we need to answer that question, number one. Is Houston just definitely going to trade him? And if they do, I'm going to say, if gun to my head for the sake of the conversation, man, I'm going to say Miami. Because I just can't see, the Texans management has New England ties, and that's like Bloods and Crips, Jets and Patriots. They don't do business together. So I doubt Casario, whatever his name is, the new Patriots or the new Texans GM who's got Patriots ties is going to want to help the Jets in any way. I would think he'd want to do a trade with the Jets because I think the Jets have probably outside of Miami the best, the best assortment of picks to give him. But yeah, I don't know, man. Are they going to do it? I don't know. Should they do it? Yeah, I think the Jets should be calling every damn number in Houston that's available to try to make that trade.
What about you, Sheldon?
I definitely agree. I think that, man, no matter where that guy goes, he's gonna be straight. But the Jets should definitely make that trade. They should be looking to get him anyway, regardless. And I think he'd be a good fit once you start bringing in some talent.
I think
Miami supplement that.
I think Miami would be the best option for him to compete, but I do think it'll be great for his brand and who he is as a player to be in New York, obviously, because I think that'll
Mhm.
bring a bigger spotlight than what he already has. And with the division being just the Bills right now, and that's even iffy, depending on what town they can surround him with. New York, I think he could. I think he could do some things, but obviously, if he wants to like legit compete and be on a good, be with a better organization, because the Jets still have to be proven that they're in a better direction. They did hire a good coach so far. What they say, he's a good coach, but we got to see how he plays out within a year. But we already know that the machine going on in Miami is working, and Tua, it ain't shit to move Tua and get the fuck out of there. So
Yeah,
I think I would love to see. He'll be the best Dolphins QB automatically since Dan Marino if he suits up with them. So
he definitely would. He definitely would. And I don't know how I forgot about both them, but that would be with Brian Flores and that team on the upswing like that. That would be a good look. And I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, that works. That works. Although, like I said before, I like him with the Bears as well with that defense that they got out there. They keep the ball in his hands and just rely on him to make a few plays, and they'll be okay out there too. I don't see why he wouldn't succeed in Chicago.
If you're the Jets, you got to keep him at all costs from going to Miami, man. I can live with him going to 49ers. I can live with him going to the Bears, but him going to in your division, 2 times a year, I don't think you can let that happen if you're the Jets. And you have the ability to, and you have a need for him. Like I think you have to. I think it's almost negligence if you let him go to the Dolphins.
But he has pretty much all the say so though, correct?
Yeah, he has a no trade clause.
Yeah, so I think that because he has the power, he's going to be very selective as to where he would want to go.
I think so far, all the rumors that you hear and read and stuff. Supposedly he wants to go to New York, but
yeah, I think he liked the post about him going to play. Yeah, he liked something about him going to play for the Jets, and then he was walking around with a San Francisco jersey on at one point.
Right. He his NBA his NBA powers to try to force his way in the NFL. But we'll see how it works.
It sounds like he acting like the bad bitch at the club, and just like everybody want him. He don't got to do shit. He just walking around, just flirting with everybody, seeing what's the best offer.
Pretty much.
All right, kid, you got anything on it?
You know what? I think look, sounds like damn Deshaun Watson been hanging out with James Harden. Just not with all the extra antics because everything was all good just a week ago, and now he's like upset with the whole organization. And I don't disagree with some of the reasons, but this just seemed like it came overnight. It was like, all right, I got paid. Now you got to do what I say. Which, I mean, that's the franchise guy, and considering what they did with Hopkins, I understand his frustration, but who's...
No, this has been brewing, man. Because even with the Hopkins thing,
yeah, but before or after he signed the contract,
I think the Hopkins thing was like the final straw though for him. Like I think it's just been a series of just a lot of different things.
It's this last thing. I think that the with the last and final straw was the fact that they didn't want to interview the enemy, and he wanted them to, as well as their pick for this GM.
Saleh.
When they when they hired this GM, they asked his input on certain things, and then they pulled it back and did something else. That's what I'm getting from what I've been reading about it so far.
Well, they didn't want to hire Bieniemy, and they didn't want to interview or hire Bieniemy or Saleh, which is the Jets coach now, which is crazy to me. How you don't even bring in Bieniemy for an interview is beyond me, but whatever.
That just doesn't make sense.
I would say Deshaun Watson has more grievances than James Harden ever does, but that's just me.
But was this brewing before or after the contract?
Well, I think it was brewing before the contract, but it boiled over after the contract. And the reason for the contract, he was going to get paid either way. Whether he went somewhere else or stayed there, he was going to get the money. But I think they may have made, honestly, Ken, I don't know because I wasn't there, but I think the organization may have made some promises to him and didn't keep it. And it was to the point where, you promised me you're going to do certain things for me, especially after all the stuff that happened with Hopkins and, all the things that Bill O'Brien was doing. It's like, dang, man, you told me you're going to take care of me, and now you didn't. That's it. I'm tired.
It's just
he had a bunch of different things to go off of and to be upset about. So
I think the Bieniemy thing was the straw that broke the camel's back. I think that was the thing that was like, yeah, y'all not even interviewing the guy that I said I would like to coach. That I would, as a suggestion, like y'all not even going to interview him. Forget even interviewing him. Like y'all don't even put a call into this man. Like, yeah, right. I got to get up out of here.
It just seems so.
I could be wrong, but I think they had a conversation with him about that, and then to go completely opposite of what they talked about. I think that's kind of like a slap in the face, as well as not. Like I said, I don't think they. I could be wrong with that. It could have been they didn't talk to him at all, or they had a conversation with him and went against it. Is what I think happened. But either way, he just felt disrespected, and that was it.
It just seems out of character for him. The way he's carried himself over the years, and for him to act out this way and to do the things he's did himself and to leak the news.
I just think he just tired of the shits. You know,
I feel
like look at all the players with the Houston Texans history over the last just even maybe 5 to 8 years. J.J. Watt, Andre Johnson, now Deshaun Watson. You had DeAndre Hopkins. Like you had Hall of Fame talent, and you've done shit with it. Over you don't think they all have a group text? They don't all still talk and say shit like.
I mean, I guess you don't want to repeat the Bill O'Brien years.
Yeah, you don't like. I'm wasting. If JJ Watt coming to you saying as a franchise player saying, "Look, we wasted a year of your time," like that to me, that's him saying like, "How many years did they waste to me?" I don't want that to see that happen to you, especially since you had the most important position in franchise history.
And then you look at the Lions and see how they wasted 4 years with the wrong hire. So yeah, if you're gonna want to stay with this team and play with this team, you would want some input on a guy.
And then if you ain't winning, they're going to say that about your career. You ain't done shit.
Because NFL teams have proven that they cannot pick coaches.
Man, yeah.
I think he's just earned that respect. He's earned the right to be in the room in the conversation. I ain't saying he should be the one making the decision, but he's earned the right to be made aware of the moves. He's not just your employee. He's one of the leaders of that team. He's a franchise player. Bring him in and let him know the direction you're headed in, and keep him abreast so he can kind of keep his leadership role intact and do the things you need him to do. And if you're going, don't play with the man. Don't BS him. Especially when you know he's clean. Like we said, you got a clean cut guy. He ain't making no noise. He ain't doing nothing out of the ordinary. He's just doing his job every day, day in, day out. All of a sudden, all this stuff comes out. It's like, man, they've been playing with him. Like, why would you do him that way?
Yeah. And then you got to look at the future, too, of the organization. Like, the organization is screwed right now. They have no draft picks. It just, they're in cap hell. So, yeah, it's just all around a bad situation.
Right. And this is messing with his legacy. We're talking about a guy who should be mentioned in the breath of the Patrick Mahomes and the Aaron Rodgers. He's that kind of guy. But he's not even getting a thought because his team is not there. And the pieces and the people around him aren't right. So he's the one that's, out of everybody, he's the one that's being the most done wrong, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And he's still making things happen. Didn't he lead in passing yards this year?
Yeah, crazy. He did. He led the league.
Yep, passing yards and pass attempts.
It's crazy that he's able to do what he's able to do in spite of all the obstacles and hurdles that's thrown in his way. So in saying that, man, that dude, he just deserves a better shot, a better shake at it.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll hope. Should I just hope he turn his career around? But we'll figure that out next season if he is even with the Houston Texans next season.
I hope not.
Yep. Well, all right. Well, we thank you guys for joining us this week. Again, we'll be back Thursday with our NBA talk. And we'll be back next Tuesday to discuss the results of the championship games this weekend. And we'll have a Super Bowl coming shortly thereafter. So please subscribe. Please hit the button or the thing on the thing to help the algorithm. And we'll see you guys next week. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you. Oh, shoot. We missed some super chats, and I forgot. We had 2 more super chats.
Oh, we had 2 more?
Yeah.
You got them? Did you say them?
No, they gone. I meant to mention it at the end. Like, dang, they went away.
I think it'll be on.
Yeah, it'll be on the replay on the
Yeah, it'll probably be on the replay, but it's also in the back end, so I can pull it for next week.
Yeah, screenshot it and
Yeah, so
I
I'll.
meant to, and I saw him come through, and I was gonna say it, but it was kind of off topic. So I was like, damn, I'm gonna get back to it, and completely forgot.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. On the back end in the YouTube studio, and if so, we'll ask it. We'll answer it next week.
Okay, cool. And it was some names, and the names I hadn't seen before. That was like it was a new name.
Yeah, hopefully I can reach out to him.
all right, fellas.
All right, man.
All right, Manny.
See y'all on Thursday.
All right, later.
All right, bro.